And I'm opening up the room.
All right. Good evening, everyone. As you kind of file into our Zoom room here, we'll get started momentarily. Just waiting for a few more people to file into the Zoom room. We'll get started here very shortly. Good evening and welcome to our Zoom room as we present the Siena Shares Series event, Advance Your Nursing Career. Siena Heights University's Interim Director of Nursing and RN-to-BSN Program Coordinator, Dr. Lori Dowell, and the Assistant Director of Advising and Recruiting for the RN-to-BSN and MSN Programs, Dana Shook, will lead tonight's presentation. Dr. Dowell has been teaching for Siena Heights University since 2011, serving as the RN-to-BSN Program Coordinator since 2015. She was instrumental in both course development and the transition to its current totally online format. Her professional nursing experience includes 20 years working as an emergency department and trauma nurse, working as both a staff nurse and staff development educator. Dana has been a nurse for 28 years in a variety of specialties, including neuro ICU, cardiovascular ICU, recovery room, nursing education, management, teaching NCLEX review course. Please save your questions for the end of the presentation in our Q&A area. And also feel free to use and follow our chat function during the presentation. At this time, I would like to introduce our presenters, Dr. Lori Dowell and Dana Shook.
Thank you, Doug. I'm Dana, and like Doug said, Lori and I will both be speaking during the presentation tonight, and we'll have time for questions at the end. So again, you see me talking, I'm Dana, and Lori, I'll let you introduce yourself. We'll go on to the next slide. Lori, there's.
I am Lori Dowell, the Interim Director of Nursing at Siena Heights and the RN-to-BSN Program Coordinator. And we are very happy to have you join us because I think we're going to help to kind of tell you what's very special about our RN-to-BSN program at Siena Heights and hopefully answer any questions that you might have following the program. So welcome, everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, welcome, everyone. So let me just give you a little bit of background about Siena Heights itself. Our main campus is located in Adrian, Michigan, and we do have 8 satellite campuses across southern Michigan. So you can see the little pinpoints there. So we go from Benton Harbor, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek up to Lansing, Jackson, our main campus in Adrian. We have one in Dearborn, we do have a campus in Detroit, and then also Monroe. So we do serve students all across the lower half of the state, but with our nursing programs, we actually service students all over the state and all over the country because our program is 100% online. We are fully accredited by the North Central Association, the HLC. And again, we're 100% online. And we just celebrated our 100-year anniversary of Siena Heights being founded by the Adrian Dominican Sisters. So there's a little background about Siena Heights University. So I'll let Lori talk to you about the program itself and why we need advanced practice nurses or nurses in higher degree levels, like such as a bachelor's degree. So Lori, can you speak to that?
Thank you, Dana. Our students that enroll in the RN-to-BSN program come to us for a variety of reasons. Some of our students are really looking to broaden their knowledge. Some students are looking for maybe job promotions or maybe other opportunities in the nursing profession that a BSN will afford them. Other people are coming to us because they're required to get a BSN, either because of magnet status or because of healthcare policies. Regardless of the reason that students come to us, it's pretty clear that healthcare is changing, and healthcare is asking that nurses have a voice. And nurses need voices so that they can help to create changes, and those changes will help to positively impact patient care. And so our program at Siena Heights University is designed to really help enhance both your personal and professional development, regardless of the reasons that you came to the program. By doing so, it promotes community awareness, and our program will also offer a variety of learning opportunities that will help you to adapt to today's healthcare system. Our program is not designed to help you become a better diagnostician or better at your skill set. What our program is designed is to help you to sort of think outside the box and to sort of consider some other things that are out into the community for our patients that in the communities to really thrive, because today's healthcare system is very complex, and healthcare systems are calling for nurses to expand their knowledge and to grow as professionals. Throughout the program and by the end of the program, you will achieve our program outcomes that will enable you to practice within this complex healthcare system that I've been describing and assume a variety of roles, whether it is a care provider, whether it's a manager or care coordinator, or simply just a member of the nursing profession. And so again, there's a variety of reasons why students come to us, but in the end, the program outcomes are the same for all of our students. And by enrolling in our program, you're sure to develop stronger critical thinking skills, right? Think about going to the gym and exercising. The more you exercise, the more muscle you develop, the more strength you develop. Think about that in the same way. The more you think, the more you consider other options, the more you work in a collaborative environment with your instructors and your fellow classmates, you're going to develop stronger thinking skills, whether you see a rapid transition or maybe a slow progression over the program. But I assure you that you'll notice the difference from start to finish. Our program will also help you to gain confidence in collaborating with other healthcare professionals, and certainly to develop a passion for engaging all individuals, families, and communities in making decisions about their health. And so we're just asking that you come into the program with an open mind, think about some of the things that we talk about, and we love to see the growth that our students have when they come into the program and when they leave the program. It's actually very, very touching. Next slide.
Okay. Let's say the faculty is extremely involved with the students as well, which Lori can speak to that or attest to that. It really is phenomenal, the faculty involvement and the personal care and individual attention that each student is given as well. Sorry, I just had to put that in there. Go ahead and advance the slide.
Our RN-to-BSN program, like our pre-licensure program, is CCNE accredited. And our foundation for our RN-to-BSN program is based on the essentials of baccalaureate education for professional nursing practice. So these are the essentials that we consider when we developed our curriculum, when we revised our curriculum, and we continuously reevaluate each and every course through the curriculum. And so we are designed to meet each and every one of these essentials by the end of the program. Our first one is a liberal education for baccalaureate general nursing practice. And we have a strong liberal arts foundation at Siena Heights University. Two of the courses that you would take within the program have a liberal arts foundation, including the first course, Transition to Professional Nursing. And so you're going to be challenged to think about maybe some things outside of what you normally would think of on a daily basis. And I've often had students say, I always knew what you were talking about, but I never saw or put a name to it. And so it kind of gives you that aha moment. Basic organizational and systems leadership for quality care and patient safety. You will take a leadership course, and you will cover this essential within the courses that will be geared to enhancing your leadership skills. Scholarship for evidence-based practice. We have research courses. Our courses involve a lot of discussions, a lot of writing. And so you sort of develop the ability to, or at least enhance your ability to really put your thoughts into words. Information management and application of patient care technology will be covered within one or two of the courses. We'll be discussing healthcare policy, finance, and regulatory environments. It seems like every healthcare institution, as soon as you know someone has a BSN, they've always got something in mind for future growth, including management and so forth. Interprofessional communication and collaboration for improving patient outcomes. One of my very favorite part of the program is the diversity of students that we get in each cohort. We get students from various backgrounds, including brand new novice nurses to nurses with 20 or more years of experience. And so it's actually pretty amazing how our students learn from each other. Clinical prevention and population health, there's a strong community health component to our RN-to-BSN program. Professionalism and professional values. This is one of the things that we start from the beginning and thread throughout the entire curriculum, and baccalaureate generalist nursing practice. Now, these are the same essentials that our pre-licensure nursing students must obtain throughout the program. So they're just different ways from, whether you're a nurse to start with or whether you're in school to be a nurse, the essentials are the same. Just how we get to the final outcome is really just the big difference between the two programs. Next slide, Dana. So how are we different from the big box educational institutions? I love Siena Heights. I love the small atmosphere. I love the personal kind of touch that our students get because we are such a small and very tight-knit group. Courses are developed by highly qualified faculty and are designed to create learning experiences that build on previous knowledge and experience. When we talk about adult learning theory, we recognize that adults love to have some control of their learning, and adults love to be engaged in experiences that are meaningful to them. So our courses will build upon your nursing experience and your knowledge, and we certainly do appreciate that knowledge and experience, and that comes into the classroom. We've had a lot of brand new graduates that will come into our RN-to-BSN and learn to thrive based on the discussions with the more experienced nurses. So whether you're a novice nurse, whether you're an experienced nurse, whichever environment you work in, hospice, community health, acute care, oncology, whatever your environment is, you're certainly bound to learn something from your classmates. Our courses do incorporate new knowledge that will create unique and effective learning environment and application of real world problems and examples. And your learning is really going to be applicable to your practice of nursing, whatever that would be. What else is different? Well, you're going to develop your ability to lead change, the application of real world situations. So we're not just going to talk about what you can do to change. Let's talk about how you can actually impact your healthcare environment. And so that's one of the things that I think makes Siena unique. We have a very low faculty-student ratio with a dedicated faculty mentor to guide and support you through the program. So the really nice thing about it is when you have a very low faculty to student ratio, you get a lot of personal attention, whether you need assistance with writing, whether you need assistance with really trying to develop a problem that you can solve or some way to apply what you're learning into your scenario. You have a lot of guidance from your faculty. So you're never really alone. In an online course, faculty are sort of designed to be the guide on the side. They provide the learning opportunities. They sort of let the virtual classroom sort of lead itself. And faculty will come in very often during the week and kind of enhance what you're doing or redirect where the discussion is and challenge you with other ideas to think about. And so having that low faculty to student ratio makes that a very successful part of our online courses. And then we have a cohort model. And so most of our students come in as a group and graduate as a group. And so they generally transition through the same nursing courses together. And it really helps to build that relationship between the students. And our students become friends. They look to each other for support. They develop relationships outside the classroom. And it doesn't always feel like distance learning. And so we don't tend to use that term distance learning very often. It is a virtual classroom, but it is a very collaborative classroom, and it doesn't necessarily feel so distance. So next slide.
Thank you. Excuse me. So as your advisor for the program, I really appreciate that Siena Heights has invested in having a nurse as your advisor. And that's me, of course, and I'm with you from the time you apply to the time you graduate. When we look at transfer credits, you can transfer in up to 90 credit hours from your community colleges or other universities that you've attended, and transfer credits do not expire. So the goal is to have you earn those 90 credit hours because first of all, it's going to save you time and it's going to save you money. So when you come into the program at Siena Heights, you'll have our 6 core courses, and then we have our 2 liberal arts required classes that you'll take also. So the program is a total of 8 classes. The nursing classes are 4 credit hours each, or 24 credit hours. And then the liberal arts classes, which is liberal arts study 401, and then a religion or a philosophy. It's not both, it's one or the other. And those are each 3 credit hour classes. So this is I just kind of took a snapshot here of what a degree plan would look like for you. So you can see the nursing classes that you would take, and this would be for somebody who would be starting in the winters of 21 semester. So you can see that our classes are, W1 and W2 means winter 1 and winter 2. So our sessions, our semesters are broken up into 2 7-week sessions or subsessions. So you take one class the first 7 weeks and another class the second 7 weeks. So you're doing 2 classes in a semester, but only focusing on the work of one class at a time. So that makes it very doable for nurses that are, you're working, you have a family, you want to have a life outside of work and school. And so we make that very doable with having the 7-week classes and having 2 classes in a semester, but only focusing on the work of one class at a time. The only time you would double up is if you wanted to take your religion or philosophy and the LAS 401 along with a nursing class. You can do that. And that's why I put to be determined here for which semester you'll take it, because it's kind of up to you. The LAS 401 you would take more towards the end of the nursing classes because that's your senior seminar, you're bringing it all to kind of thing. The religion or philosophy class, you can actually take that before you take your NCLEX if you choose to. So for example, this semester, the fall semester, I have students that are taking the religion or philosophy class, and then they're going to take their first nursing class starting in the winter. So they've already got that class under their belt, per se. So everybody gets an individualized degree plan when I see your transcript. So I will send this to you. It will look like this. Is actually, there's more to it because it shows prerequisites as well. But if there's a time that, something comes up and like you say, hey, Dana, I need to take off 7 weeks or the next 7 weeks, then I just readjust this and send you a new copy, and then we go from there. I do register you for all your classes. Again, that just helps you as a working nurse, so you don't have to remember, oh my gosh, when is registration open? What classes do I have to register for? So I automatically register you according to this degree plan, unless I hear from you otherwise, which would be sending me a text or an email or call me and say, I just can't do the next 7 weeks. And then, like I said, we readjust at that time. flexible, very individualized with advising with me as your advisor.
And I'd like to speak just 1 minute about this particular schedule. Dana, if you could go back. The plan of study set aside for this program was really sort of a commitment that we made in response to feedback from our students. Our courses originally, when transitioned to online format, were not accelerated. They were in a regular format where you would take 2 in each semester to, keep your plan of study on track. Well, students found it was very difficult to focus on 2 courses at one time. So we did make the transition to 7-week classes so that you focus on 1 class at a time, with a week in between the 2 classes in the semester, so that you're really committing to 1 class. Now, they are 4 credit hour classes, so they are intense. So you will feel like it's the workload of 2 classes in 1 class, but it is very doable. Students really don't have too much to complain about. Online learning has some flexibility, so it does allow you to work during the middle of the night, participate in discussions at 3 in the morning if you're midnight shift. What it doesn't do is it's not fully flexible. There are deadlines that will keep you on track. If there were no deadlines, you were more likely to put things off to the last minute and fall behind. So they're very flexible with some boundaries and some guidelines for maybe due dates and assignment dates and so forth, so that everybody is in the same discussion at the same time, learning from each other, so that it's organized. And each class is developed that way, and it has worked very well. We started doing this a couple of years ago, and it's worked very, very well, where each student can put their heart and soul into every course without worrying about what's going on in the other courses. So we love the format. It's working very well for us.
Very well said. Thank you, Lori. So this is our, talks about our programs in general, the RN-to-BSN and MSN programs, flexible, affordable, and 100% online. So that's, the message that we want to get out to you is that it is 100% online. Lori just talked about the flexibility of it. I'm going to talk about the tuition. We did just reduce our tuition within the last year. But having said that, we did not cheapen our program by reducing our tuition. We did that to be competitive, but we did not, you're not losing any of the individual advising, or you're not losing the faculty mentor or the intimate class sizes. You're not losing any of that. We lowered our price to be competitive with big box education, for lack of better words. So the other thing we have is price certainty, or the Siena Tuition Advantage, which means once you register for classes, you're guaranteed that tuition rate as long as you stay in the program for 2 years. I mean, you can graduate in 1 year, but if it takes you 2 years, you're guaranteed that rate as long as you don't stop out a semester. So that's one thing that's nice too, because we know that, most colleges or universities will increase their tuition annually. But with the Siena Tuition Advantage, we do guarantee the tuition that you start with, you'll be at that rate for 2 years. This is the website right here where you can, excuse me, go on here and look at or fill out an inquiry form. So it's the start.sienaheights.edu/MI-nurse. So I'll leave that up there just for a minute if anybody wants to jot that down. And then at the end of the presentation, you'll have both Lori and I's personal Siena emails where you can contact both of us as well.
And you can see on this form, it says a 2-year program, but it can easily be done in 3 or 4 semesters, depending on how, if you want to work through the summer, if you want to double up an elective with a nursing course and so forth. So there's a lot of different options. 3 semesters would be the minimum, because it's going to take 3 semesters to progress along the nursing courses. But there is some flexibility in how quickly you can get this program done, depending on when you join the program and how you add your electives in there.
Correct. And if you transfer in the 90 credit hours and you meet the prerequisites, then you don't necessarily have to take electives at Siena Heights. So let me just touch on the prereqs real quick. So English Comp 1 and 2, your anatomy and physiology 1 and 2, a social science or political science. We do require a math proficiency, which would be a college algebra or above. So college algebra, pre-stats, or a stats class. You don't have to take stats. You can take college algebra, because that's a question I get from a lot of students. And then the chemistry and microbiology. Sorry, I had to lost my train of thought there. So chemistry and microbiology are not required by Siena Heights if they're not required by your associate degree program. So if your associate degree program does not require you to take microbiology, we will grandfather you in and you will not have to take that. However, you still need the electives or those credit hours. So you would still need the 4 credit hours that microbiology would usually be, or chemistry. But as I said, if it's not required by your associate degree program, then we don't require it from you either. So those are your prerequisites that I look at when I look at your transcripts. So here's our tuition rates. Everybody wants to know how long is it going to take me and how much is it going to cost me. So here's our tuition rate. So you can see our RN-to-BSN is $350 per credit hour. If you go on to our MSN, it's $650 credit hour. And again, the Siena Tuition Advantage is the one tuition price over 2 academic years guaranteed. So some nurses will, they want to get in, they want to get it done in the 3 or 4 semesters. Other nurses will stretch it out a little bit depending on their tuition reimbursement from their employer. So it's, we're flexible as far as that goes as well. So, but the new rate is $350 per credit hour, which makes us very competitive with other colleges and universities. So why Siena? So this slide kind of puts everything together. Even though we're a small college here in Michigan, we are ranked nationally. So we're ranked 28th nationally for online programs, which is huge for the size of our school. Save time with the 7-week classes. You can graduate in 2 years or less. We don't require the GRE or GMAT if you're going for the master's degree program. Again, the tuition advantage, we really stress that because you're not going to see an increase. You're not going to see a 4%, 5% bump in your increase in your tuition. And then again, we're 100% online. And like Lori talked about, that just gives you the flexibility that you can, if you're a night shift, you can work on your discussion at 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever time suits you. So moving your career forward with your BSN, that's the next step. And that's what we're really talking about here tonight, is going from your associate degree to your BSN and then further beyond that if you choose to. Then I'll move on to questions. Doug has been keeping track of any questions coming in. So this again is my information and Lori's information. So you're welcome to email us anytime. If you have any questions at all about the program, about the RN-to-BSN or the MSN, if you're looking further ahead for that as well, feel free to email us. So I'll leave this slide up here and I'm going to ask Doug if we have any questions that came in.
Thanks, Dana. Yes, we do have a question. And we have a question here from Angela. She's asking, what if a student doesn't have 90 transfer credits toward the BSN? What are the options to make up the credit gap to 120 credits total?
If somebody doesn't have the 90 credit hours, the first thing I'm going to do is look to see that you've met all those prerequisites. If you haven't had English Comp 2, for example. Then the options are that you could take English Comp 2 at Siena Heights. You could go back to your local community college and take it. You can take CLEP, C-L-E-P exams online. CLEP, if you Google the CLEP, there are elective exams that you can take that count as elective hours. So that's how we get you to that 120 hours. And a lot of nursing programs that I work with, their minimum to finish their associate degree program may only be 72 or 75 hours. So that's, they got 15 to 18 credit hours to kind of play with or figure out how we're gonna get you to that 90 credit hours. So CLEP is definitely an option. Some nurses will take elective classes such as healthcare management classes, if that's the route that they want to move into. They may choose to take more psychology or social ethics or something like that as elective classes to get you up to that 90 credit hours. And then of course the 30 credit hours for the BSN.
So
that answers the question.
There's a couple things to think about. Siena Heights only requires residency for 30 credits. That means you really only need to take those 30 credits with Siena. So you do have some options to take courses somewhere else if you'd like. More importantly, Dana is incredibly knowledgeable on the courses that are typically required for master's programs. So potentially she may say, if you don't have a statistics and you plan to go on for your to graduate school, you may want to consider taking a statistics that would get you what you need for entry into graduate school. And so she could help you to decide which courses might help you for preparation beyond a bachelor's degree. And so you may be thinking about that in the back of your head, and she can help to tell you which ones would be valuable to take in case you were considering graduate school. We would love for you to graduate with your BSN prepared to go right into the MSN at Siena or elsewhere, depending on what your interests are.
Thank you, Lori.
Thanks, Dana and Lori. I don't see any other questions out here at the moment, but I'm going to keep the conversation going here with my own question. Can you talk about a little bit of your current student breakdown and where some of your nurses are from? I know we obviously have a few from the area, but can you talk a little bit about where our nurses come from to enter our program?
Many of our nurses come from our partner colleges that list or that slide way back at the beginning when I showed the state of Michigan. Those are our partner colleges. So many of our nurses come from partner colleges. Word of mouth, alumni word of mouth, that's where they come from. But truly, you can live anywhere and still take our program because it's 100% online. So we do have a student that lives in Florida now that's in the program. So, honestly, it doesn't matter where you're located, but we do get a lot of our referrals from our partner community colleges.
And I will agree with Dana. Our course is designed so there are no campus visits required. And all of any clinical work is done through your courses and can be at your place of employment. So it is very friendly for anybody to join, whether you're from Michigan or Ohio or any of the other states. I do tend to see primarily our students coming from Michigan and from areas with our partners, like Dana said, because as much as we market our program and have these kind of discussions, word of mouth is our most powerful recruiter. Students like our program, they tell their colleagues and our colleagues come in. And so word of mouth and colleague referrals seems to be our biggest form of recruitment. So that does speak highly of our program, but it is very friendly for anybody. You don't have to make a campus visit. Everything's totally online. During COVID, when everything's going remote, really the online programs are not feeling the effects of that, other than maybe some changes our students have at home, personal life, homeschooling children, that kind of thing. But we keep moving forward with things as usual. And so it's very convenient, and students like the program. We have a very low attrition rate of students.
Another
Okay,
point
great.
I want to bring up is when you're filling out the application, make sure you include your employer in the application, because we do have tuition discount for eligible partners. So some hospitals, some actually national organizations such as Siena Laurel, EdCore, which are, corporation names, but there's a lot of healthcare facilities that fall under their umbrella. And for example, I had a student from New York reach out to me because she realized that her organization that she works at falls under the EdCore umbrella. So please always make sure that when you're, even if you're not getting tuition reimbursement from your employer, make sure you add that in your application, because then I can let you know if you're eligible for that tuition discount, which is $80 a credit hour, which is really pretty significant. So just make sure you let me know that, because again, that brings, the cost down significantly.
Okay, we have a couple fresh questions. One a little bit related to the last one you just answered, but does Siena Heights offer scholarships for transfer or BSN students?
The short answer to that question is no. We don't offer scholarships for our degree completion students. However, as a nurse, I have connections, if you will, to organizations that offer nursing scholarships. So I always pass that information along to all the nurses that apply to the program. So, and that's a benefit of having, a nurse as an advisor, is I have those kind of connections, and I do pass all that information onto the students or onto nurses that are applying to the program.
Okay, and another question, does Siena have an MP program?
Currently, we have our master's degree, but it's not an NP program at this time. It's a master's in leadership, nursing leadership. So we don't have an NP program at this time, and I'm not sure, Laura, you may be able to speak to this if we're looking into it in the future. We can add on a degree at a time, from what I understand, and our MSN was added on a year ago. So according to our accreditation, and this might be a little TMI, we can just add on one program at a time. So that's something that definitely, is going to be considered in the future. But you need to get your BSN first, so.
Yes.
Okay, and a follow-up, are the credits from the BSN transferable?
Such as to another university, if you decide to go to an NP program, yes, we are fully accredited. So yes, your BSN degree from Siena Heights does transfer if you choose to go to a different university for your master's degree. Yes, because we're fully accredited, it does transfer.
We get a lot of students who come to us with the ultimate goal of becoming nurse practitioners or nurse midwives or clinical nurse specialists, so they complete our program and then apply elsewhere to MSN programs that suit their needs. So a lot of our students, the first course, we kind of ask students what their goals are, short-term and long-term. And so a lot of our students will mention that they want to graduate school for nurse practitioner or nurse midwife as their ultimate goal. So yes, the degree is transferable. We are accredited, and it's a pretty easy transition.
Okay, great. Well, I don't have any other questions in the queue right now, so I guess I'll put out that final call. If anybody has any other questions that they want Lori or Dana to answer, now would be the time to bring them forward. If not, if you think of something a little later, obviously you have their contact information and also the URL to go to become an inquiry. So I'll wait here just a little bit longer to see if anybody has any further questions tonight.
And I want to thank everybody who is participating tonight. I know 8 o'clock in the evening is, you know, we probably worked all day, but we all know nurses' schedules are different. So, you know, we're trying to accommodate those people that work 12-hour shifts and stuff. So I appreciate you being on with us at 8 o'clock tonight.
Okay, looks like
Hey, Dana.
we answered questions. So I think at this time we'll wrap things up. Lori and Dana, thank you so much for sharing your information tonight. And again, I would encourage everyone who's attending tonight to reach out in one way or another to either Dana or Lori if you have questions, and get into our inquiry pool, and we can definitely answer any questions you may have during the process. So pending any other questions, everyone have a good night, and thanks again for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.